Hello, I'm Bhaskar Chakravorti, Dean of Global Business at the Fletcher School at Tufts University. I'm here with Ken Spiegel, who is the CEO of Languametrics, a company based in Tampa, Florida. Is that right, Ken? Ken, very good to see you. And one of the reasons why we are having this conversation is that Ken operates a company here in the United States, and a lot of the technology work is done by Ken's partners in Ukraine. So, Ken, my first question to you is, share with us your relationship with VMAS Technologies or other technology providers in Ukraine, and how that experience has changed since the invasion of Ukraine began.
Absolutely. My experience with Ukraine goes back to 2004. Actually, my first trip over was in February of 2005, in time to witness the Orange Revolution from the balcony of my hotel room. And so forged in fire was our relationship from the beginning. And it's been a fantastic partnership with some wonderful people in a wonderful country that is the engine within Languametrics. Our R&D center is headquartered in Kyiv, Ukraine, by my partners, Andrew Maxikov, Igor Guryanov, who over the years have become my very close friends as well. We have made many trips to each other's homes over the years. We came to know and love Kiev and Ukraine. And so this situation that we're in now certainly hits home for us as well. And we are managing through it. Happy to say.
So that's wonderful to hear, Ken, about the long history that you have had with Andrew and Igor and their colleagues in Kyiv. Could you say a little bit about the work that you historically have had done by tech professionals in Kyiv and other parts of Ukraine, and specifically in the last 2 months, how that work has progressed and if there have been any changes?
Certainly. Our work centers around speech analytics, digital signal processing, natural language processing, artificial intelligence, dedicated into the English language learning world and the call center world in terms of screening offshore candidates for their English ability, domestically screening young children for their oral reading fluency. So we analyze the spoken word, and this has been going on. This is our core IP since more than a decade. And the relationship with Ukraine, why Ukraine, is because we're able to work with really talented engineers. The mathematics background that students have in a former Soviet Union is very strong, and they go into mathematics and computer science programs that are really levels above the average that I would be able to find in the United States, except for the elite programs. And these Ukrainians have a work ethic and a dedication to the project that I don't see anywhere else in the world. And I see it as typical in the Ukrainian IT workforce. And it's evidenced in the turnover. The turnover of engineers in the US is quite high, quite extreme. And in Ukraine, I have people working for us today who I met as 20-year-olds when they were finishing their master's degree at 20 years old and doing part-time required military training. And at that time, 2005, they would come to the office in a uniform with a fake gun, and we would joke about who would want to go to war with Ukraine. So the irony is incredible. the level of talent, the dedication, and of course the pricing. Those elements combine to give us a core R&D capability that has launched our company. It's how we're able to do the magic that we do as a scrappy startup, as opposed to, and we compete with the largest companies in the world and have some of the largest customers in the world as our customers. And we would, as a small shop in Tampa, Florida, we would never be able to do this without the turbocharged engine of R&D that we have with our people in Ukraine.
So if I could just follow up on that, Ken, obviously this experience with your partners in Ukraine, it seems to have been a very productive and successful one. But in the last 2 months of the war, I would imagine that much of that activity has changed and has been disrupted. And I'm curious about how some of the work that you have had done in Ukraine, how that has changed in since the invasion began.
Absolutely. And that dedication and that kind of internal fortitude that I've seen since 2004 intensified when the war began. And they maintained their dedication to the work whilst they had to evacuate their homes. And their concern was, could we invest in stronger laptops so that we wouldn't be needing to dial into the office? Not even knowing where they're going, right? But asking about the work and knowing that they're going to get it done. So whilst nearly the entire firm had to relocate themselves, and this they do on their own. They wanted to decide with their families where they would go. Many of them to Western or Southwestern Ukraine, some of them Poland, Germany, Tenerife. They make those decisions, but they bring the work with them, okay? And only ask that we continue to do business with them. So in the US, my job is to maintain the confidence of our customers globally in the face of this war. And internally within Languametrics, we have not missed a day of work. We have not missed a single deliverable. In fact, in order to assuage the fears of my US customers who often have back to school deliverables. They're in education. The new version needs to come out for the new school year. I said, we will staff up. I'll bring on more people inside and outside Ukraine, and we will accelerate those deliverables so you can sleep well throughout the summer. What we would have delivered in July, we're delivering in May. And this is our risk mitigation as well. All of our infrastructure has been in the Amazon cloud since our inception. And so where our people sat was never relevant. And just paradoxically or coincidentally, the pandemic moved everyone out of the offices anyway. Basically, everyone was working from home. And what happened with the war, simply, but not to oversimplify, is home changed for them. Work didn't change.
Mm-hmm. So as home changed and people have had to evacuate, where they live, potentially relocate to a different part of the country, even out of the country, and you're saying you did not experience any change in terms of deliverables, timing, quality, and so on?
We did not, which is amazing. I mean, watching their grace under fire, watching their bravery, because at the same time, they are supporting the war effort. They are involved in cyber offense. They are involved, they've adopted a unit where one of our members is frontline with the unit. We've adopted the unit. We've set up a GoFundMe page and have partner contributions to help them with logistics, medical supplies, bringing in pickup trucks from Denmark, meeting them at the border at Ukraine, driving them to the front to our adopted unit. These are the additional things our team members in Ukraine are also involved with at the same time that they are not missing any deliverables. We're actually expanding during this period. It just so happens we closed some large contracts that were in the pipeline for quite a long time with major industry players in the educational space, like the British Council. Okay, so we are doing leading edge research with them in real time from Kyiv while there's a war on, and certainly it takes its toll on our people, but they are managing through it. Many of them have returned to their homes in Kyiv, which you know, from 3,000 miles away, we say, gee, you know, are you sure? Is that safe to do? And these are personal and family decisions that they make, right?
Sure,
and
sure.
they just ask for the work to keep coming.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the British Council contract for a moment, Ken. So this is a relatively new contract that VMAS has started, and I'm curious about what were some of the risks that the decision makers at the British Council would have been most concerned about, and how did you assuage them that these would be taken care of?
We have a long and very happy history with the British Council. They know us, right? They know our people in Ukraine. You know, before the contract closed, we did a lot of work in order to get the contract, and building products, ideas, prototypes, working with them in the hopes of getting a contract, right, without compensation. And they saw our expertise. We brought together their first Learn English via Alexa product for them. So they knew us, and there was no question in their mind about the closing of the contract, because they know that we deliver. And that reputation was established over a few years.
Sure.
And our other customers, our US customers, asked, how can we help, right? Because we've been supporting them for years, and they understood it could be time for them to help support us. Mm-hmm. And all we asked for was, let's jointly mitigate risk by accelerating our deliverables, right? So that we can all sleep better. They like that strategy and continue to support us. They've started fundraising campaigns and have contributed to, other causes within Ukraine at a higher level. And so we're super appreciative of that support. And it's almost like the war shifting to the east and Kiev stabilizing has taken us off the peaks of concern, morphed the concern. Not that there isn't concern anymore, but particularly today with Secretary Blinken and Austin's comments about making this, that this is an opportunity to change world politics, right? To make sure the Soviet Union can't, or Russia can't do this again. Hearing that from US diplomats is very heartening to everyone close to the situation.
Great. Well, thank you, Ken. I really appreciate your offering your perspective and your firsthand experience in navigating this essentially this bridge between the outside world and our colleagues in tech and IT in Ukraine. And we appreciate all the work that you and your colleagues are doing in kind of making those connections, keeping those connections live, and certainly starting new connections, British Council being one of them. Really appreciate your comments, and hopefully this provides some additional perspective for others who might be considering Ukraine as a place to send technology work. This is Bhaskar Chakravorti, Dean of Global Business at the Fletcher School at Tufts University, signing off. Thank you.